How have practices been since you started back?
Really great. You know, Coach Harbaugh had a little different schedule than previous years. Boys just, for me personally, just feel fresh mentally, physically, and spiritually. So it's been really good so far.
So
Yeah,
having the week off was different?
yeah, it was really nice. Yeah. Well, we did have the week off last 2 years, but we haven't been in full pads as much. So it's been a little bit of a toll off our body.
What was the reaction going to play Alabama in the CFP semifinal?
Excitement. You know, what a great opportunity, especially on the stage that we're going to play on. And, you know, it's a tremendous football team, so it's going to be a great challenge for us. And we love challenges, so it's good.
JJ, how are you feeling at the tail end of the season? How do you feel now?
Amazing. You know, I feel completely rejuvenated after that little week off, and, you know, I'm just ready to get back out on the football field tomorrow. That's just kind of the whole, like, vibe to the team right now is just trying to get out there and play ball and get better.
You were kind of banged up even back at the Minnesota game, and then, you know, obviously those last couple games. Was it potentially a little bit worse than maybe you were even leading on, or what was your body like in that moment?
If you know any athletes, you know it's a little bit worse than leading on, but I'm completely fine now, feel 100% healthy, and, you know, I'm ready to go out there because, you know, these are the games you save your body for, so I'm excited to be all out for this one.
Has practice intensified knowing that you're going to be playing a team like Alabama?
It's been the same, you know, every single week. We always prepare, whether we're playing ECU or UNLV or whoever it is, we're preparing like we're playing the best team in the country. So nothing's really changed. It's just been, you know, more urgent and making sure we don't miss any little details and leave no stone unturned.
How meaningful was the MVP award?
It was a tremendous honor. You know, that was one of my goals when I stepped on campus to, you know, get that award. But there's, you know, 10, 15 guys that I can name off right now that deserve that award as well. So, you know, like Blake mentioned a bunch of times yesterday, we're not about personal awards. It's all about team awards. And, you know, just extremely grateful for my teammates of thinking me in that light.
Does playing an SEC team add any juice to this matchup, given the success that Alabama has had in the playoffs?
I think it does naturally, but at the end of the day, we don't care who we play. It's going to be a nameless, faceless opponent, and we're going to go out there and give it our best.
JJ, what's the balance for you when you look back at last year's game and either thinking about what happened last year versus totally in the rearview mirror?
I think that, you know, the last couple of years, I felt like we fell victim to paralysis by overanalysis and, you know, just kind of getting over-detailed with too many things and, you know, overthinking things. And I feel like this, you know, first couple of weeks, we really just, you know, took things kind of light, easing into things, and, you know, it's been kind of fresh every single day. So, yeah, I think that's going to be the biggest difference of keeping it balanced.
How about you specifically, like with the interception?
Yeah, you know, at the end of the day, it's just, you know, not throwing it to the other team. Like, that's just, you know, one of the worst things you could do as a quarterback, and, you know, just staying poised, calm and collected, no matter what happens, whether it's a tip ball or anything like that, just going out there and being great every single play.
Do you feel more prepared going into CFP this year than maybe this time last year?
100%. Yeah, I feel like experience is one of the biggest edges you can have as a competitor, and, you know, just having the roller coaster of a game last year, and then the experience that I had, you know, standing on the sidelines for most of it against Georgia and playing against a defense like that is going to be huge going into this game because we've had that experience of an elite defense with elite athletes.
When you look at, you know, their two corners, Arnold and History, how much do you feel, obviously you kind of got to guard against them, but how much do you feel the connection with Colston is particularly important in this game?
Huge. You know, Colston, every single game we go into, I feel like it's an advantage for us just because of the type of athlete he is, no matter who he goes against. Just, you know, size, strength, speed, you know, ability to catch the ball, and just being able to get him in the right matchups at the right time is going to be pivotal to this game.
JJ, have you made a decision about what you're going to do after this year, like come back or?
No, I have not at all. I'm completely in the present moment, you know, soaking in every single day, enjoying every single practice, every single meeting with my guys, and, you know, only God knows that question, so we'll know by, you know, end of the season.
No conversations with the coach about, like, what
He,
input or anything?
yeah, he actually brought it up and asked if I wanted to talk about it in the week off, and I told him I'm only focused on Bama coach, and he loved it. He was fired up.
Speaking of that, I mean, you look at these 3 weeks as kind of critical to your future in particular. I mean, do you see this kind of next few weeks as kind of decisive in how you're going to, I guess, reflect on your future?
Yeah, I could see that. I feel like, you know, I'm just approaching it just like I did week one. You know, every single time you put yourself out there, it's an opportunity to, you know, showcase it to the scouts and the NFL team. So I'm just focused on how the same mentality I've been since week 1. So, yeah.
Has there been any games that Alabama's played this year where it's been particularly helpful, like you saw what an offense did to their defense, any that stood out?
A lot of them. Auburn was a good one. Kentucky was a really good one. Georgia, obviously. But just a bunch of different looks that different teams gave. It wasn't just a game specifically, but just messing around with different personnels, you know, just seeing how they react to those and different formation sets and stuff like that. So I'd say those 3 specifically, and the Ole Miss game, Texas A&M, just all of them really, but those 3 stand out to me.
JJ, with Chris Jenkins, I know he's a poster child for the enthusiasm among the mankind. How do you see him display that kind of on a regular basis?
It's just his, you know, innate personality. You know, there's something about that guy. He's got a spirit inside of him that just, you know, can't be kept in. And, you know, it's just whether we're passing each other in the halls, he's always got this energy to him that you just want to rub up next to him to get a little some of that. But, yeah, it's just that infectious smile, just always positive all the time. And, yeah, he's just a tremendous teammate for sure.
JJ, what was it like standing on the field last year at the TCU game? You got that famous picture, you're looking at the scoreboard, and now where you're at, going back to playing the semifinal again?
You know, that was like one of the most, I mean, both games were key lessons, just life lessons. You know, you want to live with the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. And I feel like last year there was a lot of regret. And, you know, I've just made sure and worked exhaustively this offseason to make sure that we don't have that regret this year.
Talk about the adversity you faced this season with the allegation and coach. Of course, do you feel like that prepared you to go on a big stage against Alabama?
Yeah, I feel like it definitely helped us for sure. Just knowing what this team is all about, just the kind of guys, the kind of character, the kind of culture that Coach Harbaugh built, anything could have been thrown at us and we would have, you know, just kept focusing on what we need to focus on and keeping the main thing. So ultimately, I think it made us stronger at the end of the day, and it's going to help prepare us even more going into this one.
The change in the practice schedule for the bowl game, was that something you guys brought to coach? Was that his idea, or how did that come up?
It was a collaborative effort. I feel like Coach Harbaugh kind of knew that just because last 2 years we didn't win, so something had to change. And, you know, he talked to other coaches around the country and stuff like that and tried to figure out the best thing possible for us.
What do you feel personally needs to be done to get the win against Alabama?
Just at the end of the day, you know, hitting our 4 pillars on each side of the ball and special teams, not beating ourselves, just locking in on all the little things, and, you know, just going out there and executing at the end of the day. It's just going to come down to who executes better for that 60 minutes.
In your eyes, what's tough about their defense?
They're super fundamentally sound. You know, Coach Saban, Coach Steele, they do a great job of just getting them in the right spots at the right time. And obviously, they're just athletic all across the board. They're physical. They're tough. You know, they're disciplined. So it's gonna, you know, it's gonna take our all to be able to get against them and, you know, perform the way we want to perform. But we got some pretty good athletes on our side too, and it's gonna be a fun one. Excited.
JJ, around this time last year, some of the guys talked about the lessons they took from year 1 in the CFP to year 2 in the CFP. Are there different lessons you're taking from year 2 to year 3?
Yeah, of course. You know, just 2 completely different experiences, you know, same outcome, but just more valuable lessons that were learned in both games that are going to help us win this one.
Is it fun for the team to know like you're back in the CFP stage, the semifinals?
Yeah, but we predicted that we were going to be here. This was our expectation for ourselves, and we just got to get over the hump, so we're going to do everything we can to make sure we do that.
JJ, is it still a successful season if you don't get a playoff win or a championship?
To us, no. I mean, obviously, to just like looking back at it a couple years from now, it would be a successful season. You know, it's really hard to win 13 games, especially in the Big Ten. But, you know, just the goals we set out for ourselves, this team, it's, you know, one of those things where if we're not the ones at the top of the mountain at the end of it, then we don't think like it's a successful season. But at the end of the day, it's hard to win 13 games, and, you know, we'll appreciate it one day if that happens.
JJ, you talked about championship being what you play for, not the awards or the records or anything like that. A lot of players are the other way, or they at least start out that way. Who influenced you to be a team player that way?
I would just say, you know, it's just all the great teams I've been around, all the great coaches that, you know, coached me. It was just always about the team, whether it was in youth football with my dad coaching me or, you know, at Nazareth Academy with Coach Tim Rackey. It was just all about the team and just working towards one big goal and one mission. it's not about, all the accolades, like you said, that you get personally. It's about getting that ring on your finger at the end of the year because that's something we all could celebrate.
Does it feel kind of normal with a head coach back on the sideline?
Yes, it does, and it feels great. Yeah, missed that guy for those 6 games, but, it's great to have him back.
JJ, with the change in the practice schedule, did you think last year and maybe the year before the team was maybe a little fatigued going into those games?
A little bit, yeah. Definitely what I mentioned before about that, paralysis by overanalysis. So I feel like Coach Harbaugh is doing a great job of making sure we avoid that.
And paralysis by analysis, mental too?
Yes, exactly. Mostly mental, so yeah.
JJ, what do you think is more indicative of your performance, like the first 9 games or the last 4? I mean, as far as your contribution to the offense.
You said that first part?
What do you think is more indicative of your performance, the performance of the first 9 games, the last 4 games?
Could you define indicative for me?
Yeah,
Sorry.
just and what do you think is, I guess, most a better example of your performance, the performance of the first 9 games?
I feel like it's just got to be, a season effort, not just looking at the first half or the second half, because good things happened in both, bad things happened in both. So I feel like you just got to take it as a collective of the, season games, and so many lessons were learned in both halves, and it's going to help me for this next, stretch of the season.
How much was the injury, I guess, or what you were dealing with, partially?
All I could say is I just wasn't at 100%. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
JJ, what has Mikey meant to this team on and off the field, and can you reflect on the transition he's made, seems like seamlessly
Yeah.
receiver to corner?
Yeah. First off, Mikey, probably the best leader I've ever been around. Just somebody who embodies, everything you want in a leader, and just it's a perfect example of him moving from offense to defense, because he was a tremendous player on offense, but we needed him on defense, and he made that with no, commotion or pushback, and, he's thriving where he is. So it's a perfect example of a guy that no matter what gets thrown at him, he's going to go with the flow and make the best of it. And just being able to be led by him and Blake and Zint and Mike B and Keegan and Chris, it's just a tremendous honor to be able to be those teammates. And, yeah, Mikey's the best. He really is.
Last couple for JJ, please. We've got Jalen. JJ, what does it say about this team that you've got last year's MVP and this year's MVP?
Yeah, it's nuts. It just, speaks to, everything that we work for as Michigan men. And, it's a tremendous honor. But like I said, 10 to 15 other guys could have won that award just as well. So it's pretty cool to have that. But at the end of the day, we're just focused on getting W's.
What's the best thing about playing with Blake?
Just, you never have to worry. You never have to worry that he's not going to be in the right spot, that he's not going to give it his all. He's just a guy that you don't have to worry about to do his job and be the best at it.
Because you see that self-assuredness that you guys have a lot of times before you're going to part of the signal, you look at each other and there's that.
Yeah.
You can really see that.
100%. Yeah, it's a different kind of, telepathic communication that we got going on. Yeah.
Are you still reading a lot? And is there
Yes.
anything you've read recently that's affected you?
I'm actually reading, what is it? It's an ADHD book. I forget the title, but that's just helped me a lot personally because I get in my own head a lot, especially with these interviews. My mind's going in 30 different directions. All right, just sum it up in a couple sentences. But yeah, that's helped me a lot for sure.